Mercury and Suzuki don't just power boats, they represent two completely different mindsets. Mercury's all about speed, noise, and showing off. Suzuki, quiet strength, long days, and engines that just won't quit. It's not just east versus west, it's adrenaline versus trust. And if you're buying in 2025, you need to know which one fits your style before you hit the throttle. Let's dive in. To understand why Mercury and Suzuki feel so different on the water, you have to look at how they started, because their origin stories shaped everything that came after. Mercury Marine was born in 1939 in Wisconsin when Carl Kiekhaefer bought a failing engine shop. He didn't set out to build boat motors. He wanted to fix farm equipment. But he realized the engines he had could power boats faster than anything else on the market. That pivot became Mercury's defining trait: performance-first thinking. By the 1950s, Mercury outboards were dominating racing circuits, and speed became the brand's calling card. From the Tower of Power inline 6 to today's beastly V12 Verado, Mercury has always chased more power, more torque, and more edge. Suzuki, on the other hand, was founded in Japan in 1909 as a loom company. After World War II, they moved into motorcycles and small engines. Their marine division didn't take off until the mid-1960s. And unlike Mercury, Suzuki didn't roar into the scene. They slipped in quietly, letting their engines do the talking. By the 1980s, they were winning over commercial users with bulletproof four-strokes. No big slogans, no racing heritage, just reliable performance. Day after day, Mercury was built to win. Suzuki was built to last. That foundational difference still shows in everything they make. One brand pushes boundaries. The other builds engines that people depend on, especially when failure isn't an option. And that's why they feel so far apart right from the start. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit subscribe and let us know your pick, Mercury or Suzuki. What's coming next dives into how these engines feel on the water. One punches, one glides, and by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits you. Mercury and Suzuki might both sell outboards, but their approach to building them couldn't be more different. Mercury wants you to feel the power. Everything they make is designed to go fast, hit hard, and make an impression. You tap the throttle on a Mercury, and the boat jumps. There's no delay, no subtlety. Whether it's the Pro XS tearing across a lake or the V12 Verado pushing a 40-foot center console, these motors are made to charge. Suzuki takes a quieter route. Their outboards are all about balance, fuel economy, smooth operation, and long-term durability. Where Mercury aims for peak horsepower and bold throttle response, Suzuki fine-tunes every piece of the engine to run clean and steady. Take their DF3 Flying Favor A. It's not the loudest or fastest motor in its class, but it's engineered with dual contra-rotating props for better grip in the water, a high compression ratio for efficient combustion, and offset drive shafts for better balance. It's like comparing a muscle car to a luxury SUV. Mercury wants to be felt, Suzuki wants to be forgotten, in the best way possible. With Suzuki, the goal isn't to impress you every second, it's to work quietly day after day, so well that you stop thinking about the motor altogether. So while Mercury builds to thrill, Suzuki builds to disappear behind you. Smooth, steady, and dependable. And depending on the kind of boater you are, that difference means everything. This is where things get personal, because the difference between Mercury and Suzuki doesn't just live on paper. It shows up in your hands, your ears, and how your body feels after a long day on the water. Mercury engines hit hard. Tap the throttle on something like the 300 Pro XS, and you'll feel the bow lift instantly. It's aggressive, responsive, and loud in a way that gets your heart racing. That's not a flaw, it's part of the appeal. Mercury's sound is deep and throaty, almost like a V8 muscle car. It makes you want to go fast even when you don't need to. It's no accident that Mercury dominates bass tournaments and high-performance center consoles. These motors are built to perform and make sure everyone around you knows it. Suzuki? Whole different energy. Their outboards are smooth, linear, and nearly silent at idle. Ease into the throttle, and the boat responds gradually, not explosively. It's more refined, more relaxing, especially if you're trolling, cruising, or fishing offshore for hours. The lack of vibration is noticeable. You don't get that buzzy fatigue after 6 hours on the water. The sound is more of a low hum than a growl, which many boaters say makes for a calmer day. So if you love the feel of raw torque and don't mind the noise, Mercury brings the thrill. But if comfort and quiet matter more, especially for long hauls, Suzuki's vibe might be exactly what you're looking for. When it comes to innovation, Mercury and Suzuki are playing the same game, but with very different playbooks. Mercury wants to wow you. Just look at their V12 Verado. It's not just a big outboard, it's a statement. It comes with a 2-speed automatic transmission, steerable gear case, and digital everything. Then there's SmartCraft, their all-in-one digital system with vessel view, skyhook digital anchoring, joystick piloting, and active trim. It's like having a tech command center at your fingertips. Mercury doesn't just add features, they build engines to feel futuristic. And for tech-savvy boaters, that's a huge draw. Suzuki, on the other hand, isn't racing to be first. They're focused on making sure their tech actually works and keeps working. Their precision-controlled digital throttle system is incredibly smooth, and their lean burn technology was ahead of the curve when it came to fuel efficiency. Instead of adding more bells and whistles, Suzuki refines what matters: better combustion, smoother shifting, cleaner burn, and quieter performance. And while Mercury's features might get you excited at the dealership, Suzuki's will matter most when you're 30 miles offshore and just need things to run flawlessly. It's flash versus function. Mercury is bold, confident, maybe even a little flashy. Suzuki is quiet, calculated, and careful. Both innovate, but they do it for very different reasons. One to impress, the other to endure. And depending on the kind of boater you are, that difference can make all the difference. Ask any longtime boater what matters most after a few seasons, and they'll tell you the same thing: reliability. Not just how the motor feels on day one, but how it holds up after 500 hours, a dozen oil changes, and a few surprise storms. Suzuki has earned a reputation for being the quiet workhorse. Mechanics love them because the engines are built simple, strong, and easy to service. Models like the DF140 and DF150 have legendary track records, especially in commercial fleets. It's not uncommon to find Suzuki motors with 2,000+ hours still running strong on charter boats and dive vessels. Oil, filters, impellers, and they just keep going. You won't see many Suzuki commercials, but you will see their motors running hard every day in places like the Philippines, Belize, and the Florida Keys. Mercury has made big improvements in this area, especially with their newer 4-stroke and Verado lines. Gone are the finicky 2-strokes of the 90s. Today's Mercury motors are far more dependable, especially when serviced regularly. But with performance comes complexity. Digital throttle systems, joystick integration, and superchargers all add points of potential failure. They're faster, but they also demand more attention. Parts Access tells another story. In the US, Mercury's dealer network is huge, but globally, Suzuki has the edge. In many coastal regions, Suzuki parts are available in local hardware stores. Mercury, not always. So while Mercury may win the race, Suzuki might just be the one that gets you home every single time. Enjoying the ride so far? Hit subscribe and drop your thoughts below, because next we're diving into resale value, service costs, and what really happens after 1,000 hours. One brand holds strong, the other depends where you are. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Here's a detail new buyers often overlook, but experienced boaters never forget: resale value. And when it comes to holding value over time, Suzuki tends to play the long game a little better. Why? Reputation. Suzuki has built a global image around quiet reliability and low maintenance. A 10-year-old DF140 or DF115 with 1,000 hours can still fetch solid prices, especially in coastal markets or remote areas where durability and parts access are more important than brand flash. Buyers trust Suzuki motors to start, to run, and to keep running, even after years in the salt and sun. Mercury resale can be strong too, especially with newer models like the Pro XS or Verado. They shine in freshwater markets, base boats, pontoons, tournament rigs, especially in the US, where Mercury branding carries weight. But their high-performance focus means more wear and tear, and their complex systems can make long-term ownership costlier, especially once warranties expire. Ownership cost is another factor. Suzuki parts are generally cheaper, and many mechanics are comfortable working on them without needing dealer-specific tools. That means fewer surprises and lower service bills. Mercury's advanced features, digital controls, joystick piloting, active trim are great while they work. But when something breaks, repairs are often dealer-only and expensive. One used boat dealer put it simply, "Mercury Resale is like a sports car. Flashy high peak value, but more risk. Suzuki is like a Toyota truck. Not flashy, but dependable and always in demand." And that's exactly how they hold value, differently. Spend a full day on the water and you'll quickly realize comfort matters. Not just how the boat handles, but how the engine sounds, how much it vibrates, and how your body feels after hours at the helm. This is where the Mercury versus Suzuki difference gets real. Suzuki outboards are built for quiet, whisper quiet in fact. Their engines idle so smoothly that many owners say they have to check the tack just to know they're on. At cruising speeds, the hum is low, controlled, and easy on the ears. Combine that with low vibration from their offset drive shafts and balanced props, and you get a motor that practically disappears behind you. That makes a massive difference when you're trolling for hours or cruising a coastline with your family. It's less tiring, less noisy, and just plain easier on the senses. Mercury doesn't aim for silence, it aims for presence. Their V6 and V8 outboards still have that classic Mercury growl. It's deeper, throatier, and gives you that raw performance feel. To many owners, that sound is part of the fun. You feel every throttle hit, every turn of the prop. It's exciting, but over time, especially on long runs or choppy water, it can wear you down. Vibration damping has improved, but it still doesn't match Suzuki's serene ride. So if you want to feel your engine, Mercury delivers the drama. But if you want the motor to fade into the background while you enjoy the water, Suzuki quietly wins the day. In today's boating world, it's not just about horsepower, it's about how smart your outboard is. And once again, Mercury and Suzuki take two completely different approaches. Mercury leans heavily into tech. Their Smart Craft suite is packed with features. Vessel View shows everything from fuel flow to diagnostics. Skyhook keeps you virtually anchored using GPS, and joystick piloting lets you dock like a pro. Add active trim, and you've got an engine that adjusts itself based on speed and load. For tech lovers and high-end boaters, it feels like driving a computer-controlled sports car. It's immersive, powerful, and complex. Suzuki, on the other hand, doesn't try to blow your mind. Their systems are simple, clean, and purpose-built. The precision-controlled digital throttle and shift system is smooth and intuitive. Their multi-function gauge gives you what you need: RPMs, temp, trim, fuel burn, without overwhelming you with screens. The Troll Mode system lets you fine-tune low-speed control with the push of a button. It's not flashy, but it works, and it works every time. There's a trade-off. Mercury gives you more data, more control, and more customization. But that also means more parts, more menus, and sometimes more things that can go wrong. Suzuki focuses on simplicity, fewer buttons, fewer potential issues, and less need for dealer intervention. If you love dashboards and digital features, Mercury feels advanced. But if you'd rather focus on the water and let the engine handle itself, Suzuki's approach might suit you better. It's a mindset, not just a menu. Forget the brochures. Want to know the real difference between Mercury and Suzuki? Just talk to the people who swear by them. Mercury owners are loud and proud. They obsess over RPMs, prop pitch, throttle response. You'll find them on base forums dissecting top-end speed or showing off their latest tournament setup. They love performance. They chase gains. For them, owning a Mercury isn't just about boating, it's about winning. There's a certain swagger that comes with that glossy black cowling and that deep growl at the dock. It says, "Let's go." Suzuki owners are a different breed entirely, quiet, loyal, and practical. You'll find their boats in places where reliability matters more than reputation: offshore charters, coastal towns, remote island villages. They're the ones who smile quietly when their DF-150 starts first time after 1-200 hours and say nothing when the Mercury down the dock is in for diagnostics. For Suzuki users, the engine isn't a showpiece. It's a tool, a good one. It's not just brand loyalty, it's identity. Mercury is for those who want to push, tweak, and feel every knot. Suzuki is for those who want to not think about their motor while they chase fish or haul gear. One's a driver's engine, the other is a captain's engine. So when you choose Mercury or Suzuki, you're not just picking a motor, you're joining a culture, a tribe. And trust us, both sides have opinions, strong ones. The next frontier isn't horsepower, it's voltage. And just like everything else, Mercury and Suzuki are taking completely different roads into the electric era. Mercury has already jumped in. Their Avator electric outboard series is in full swing with models like the Avator 785E, 20E, and 35E. These aren't just concept motors, they're available, modular, and packed with smart features. Swappable lithium battery packs, integrated digital displays, Bluetooth connectivity, and plug-and-play rigging make them ideal for tenders, pontoons, and inland water zones where gas motors are banned. Mercury's message is clear: we're not waiting for the future, we're building it now. Suzuki, on the other hand, is watching the waters carefully. They've showcased electric outboard prototypes and even hydrogen-powered marine systems. But as of mid-2025, Suzuki hasn't brought a production electric outboard to the global market. Instead, they're refining their internal combustion tech and slowly preparing for a regional electric rollout where demand and infrastructure justify it. It's the same strategy they used with four-strokes decades ago. Wait, perfect, then release something rock solid. That fits their DNA. Mercury takes bold, early steps. Suzuki waits, tests, and launches only when they're confident it won't break down on someone 20 miles offshore. So who's winning? Mercury's ahead today, but Suzuki's playing the long game, just like they always have. And in the world of marine engines, a head start might win a sprint, but endurance, that's a whole different race. After all the specs, all the sound, all the speed and silence, here's the truth. Mercury and Suzuki were never meant to be the same. They were built from different philosophies, for different kinds of boaters, with different goals in mind. Mercury was born in a race shop. Every part of their design screams performance, sharp handling, powerful acceleration, and cutting-edge tech. If you want to feel your boat come alive, if you love tweaking settings, chasing numbers, and being first out of the hole, Mercury was made for you. It's bold, it's fast, it's unforgiving in all the ways a performance machine should be. Suzuki was built in the background, tested by time and weather, trusted by captains who don't care about bragging rights, just getting home safe. Every bolt is engineered for endurance. Every design choice leans toward balance, quiet, and smoothness. If you want a motor that disappears behind the ride, reliable, efficient, and drama-free, Suzuki's your match. It's calm, it's proven, it's built to work. Which one is better? That depends entirely on you. The weekend warrior who lives for adrenaline, or the offshore angler who can't afford breakdowns, the tech-savvy thrill seeker, or the long-distance cruiser who values peace and simplicity. In the end, Mercury and Suzuki don't just sell motors, they sell a mindset. And the real beauty is, you get to choose what kind of captain you want to be. Drop your pick in the comments, Mercury or Suzuki. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for more deep dives into the engines that move the world.